Superhero games have been around for about as long as gaming has, with licensed games being present way back in the 1980s. However, in recent years, we have seen an incredible coat of polish applied to this type of gaming experience, with some of the titles offering an experience that would rival any game on the market. This year has been a wonderful time for superhero aficionados wanting to live out their crime-fighting dream, so we thought it would be great to run through some of the best superhero games around that you must play in 2021. Let's jump right in. Number 10, Marvel's Avengers. Let's begin with a title that should have been at the top of this list, yet it finds itself scraping into the bottom thanks to a cacophony of mishaps. We are, of course, referring to Marvel's Avengers, a game that was touted to be an essential title for all superhero fans. You can see why at times when you're playing through the story, being introduced to new heroes like Kamala Khan, or playing the unique missions that are mostly found in the opening hours of the game. However, as you continue through the game, you begin to see all its flaws. Sadly, this game decided to recycle a lot of assets. The gameplay is very repetitive. The story aspects are far too sporadic, and ultimately, the developer's decision to make this game in Destiny 2's image was a huge mistake. Fans and critics panned the title, and Square Enix reportedly lost in the region of $60 million making this game. There is some joy to be had with this game, hence why it sneaks into our list. However, as a whole, we can't help but be disappointed. Number 9, Infamous Second Son. Next up, we have a game series that isn't based on a comic book hero. However, thanks to the trilogy of games from this franchise, they have seemingly created a few, with this iteration birthing none other than Delsin Row. In this title, much like its predecessors, you control the power of electricity to traverse the vast open world, fight enemies, and generally go about your various tasks. The mechanics are slick, and simply existing in this world is enjoyable. Then, when you add in the fantastic story, which sees you battle against the oppressive DUP, their goal is to hunt down the world's remaining conduits, and they have vilified everyone with this gift in the hope of flushing them out. So it's your job to take them down and show the world that conduits are far from the force of evil they say you are. Sounds like a superhero epic to us. Be sure to try this one if you haven't already. Number 8, Spiderman PS1. Here we are serving up a retro recommendation. You may be thinking, why would we play this in 2021? Well, hear us out. Despite the age of this title, this game still has a lot to offer Spidey fans across the globe. The game has surprisingly slick swinging, wall climbing, stealth, and combat mechanics, all the key staples of a Spider-Man game. Then, in addition, you have a storyline that is equal parts action-packed and slapstick, making for a wacky and whimsical time. You'll encounter Venom in his most comical role ever. You'll have to deal with all the marquee villains with Spider-Man's world, and of course, you'll have the infamous Carnage level to see you home. It may not be the most refined title on this list, but for any superhero fan, this game still has plenty to offer and serves as a historical landmark for superhero games. So if you have an old PS1 laying around, dust it off and boot this one up when you get a chance. Number 7, Iron Man VR. We move on to Iron Man VR, one of the first superhero games to move into the world of virtual reality. When it comes to superhero games, we want to feel like we are the hero doing all the daring stunts and saving the day. So when you have a chance to enter the VR realm and become Tony Stark himself, how could you possibly turn down that opportunity? We will admit that the gameplay is rather limited as VR is still in its infancy. Plus, the assets are recycled and repetitive. However, despite this, you can't help but sit back and marvel at the technology advances we have made over the last few years. The moments may have been few and far between, but in some instances, you truly believe that you are soaring through the sky, firing proton cannons from your hands, and that is more than worth the price of admission. So if you want to take to the skies and be Iron Man, we can't think of a more incredible way to do it. Number 6, South Park, The Fractured But Whole. Now we have a series that is perhaps best known for its vulgar humor, meta references, and of course the long-running TV series it's based on. However, within this particular title, you play the role of main characters' alter egos, which are rather predictably superheroes. The group of characters form the rival factions, Coon and Friends, and the Freedom Pals, and it's your job to play both sides. Come out on top and create your own superhero franchise. The game is filled with Marvel and DC references, spoofs of superhero culture and media, plus you still get to enjoy the same fantastically crafted gameplay that you would have found in this game's predecessor, The Stick of Truth. This one may not be ideal for the superhero purist, but for someone that likes to laugh, this one will have you giggling all the way through. Number 5, Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. 5th place goes to the incredible open-world Spider-Man title created by Insomniac that took the world by storm in 2018. Only this time it's been given the 2020 treatment and remastered for next-gen systems. This means much better graphical qualities, lighting, improved character models, and most importantly, seamless load times. No longer will you have to wait while the game loads new areas while you fast travel. With this new version of the brilliant web-slinging title, you'll be able to jump in and out of the action on a whim. You'll be able to take in New York City with a brand new coat of polish, plus the incredible story, gameplay, and references are still present. It's easily the best way to play this title, so if you haven't witnessed the next step to next gen for this game, you need to try it out for yourself. Number 4, Injustice 2. Tired of playing as just one superhero in every superhero game? Want a little bit more variety? Well, what about a whole roster of DC superheroes and villains to choose from? That's exactly what's on offer in Injustice 2, the follow-up to the breaking fighting title Injustice: Gods Among Us. Here you will be pinned against other heroes and villains in a conventional fighting game arena where your sole purpose is to beat the snot out of anyone that stands in your way. The game plays rather like older titles such as Marvel vs. Capcom or X-Men New Dimensions. The arenas have hidden areas, certain characters have special moves, and ultimately this game serves as the only true gritty fighting game challenging Mortal Kombat for the top spot these days. So if you want a superhero brawling experience to remember, try this one out. While the gameplay is somewhat of the most balanced and enjoyable that you will find on the market today, there are also stories hidden in the fabric. You can seek them out online. These backstories introduce each hero's unique story and offers up Overwatch lore, helping you understand just why you are fighting in the first place. It's an incredible multiplayer experience, and if you haven't treated yourself to it, be sure to carve out some time soon. Number 3, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. The bronze medal goes to the most recent superhero title to grace the shelves. Miles Morales is essentially a standalone follow-up to Marvel's Spider-Man and sees you turn over the Spidey suit to Miles Morales of the Into the Spider-Verse fame. This game not only mixes up the story, offering another unique tale never before seen in any movies or comics, it also mixes up the gameplay with new combat abilities, new collectibles, new challenges, and who could forget new suits to swing around New York in? This is hands down one of the most polished and enjoyable superhero games you will find this generation. Plus, if you buy this one, you get our 5th entry included in the price, so it's value for money too. So be sure to blast through this one when you have the time. You won't regret it. Number 2, Overwatch. In at number 2, just missing the top spot, is Overwatch. Remember what we said about a full roster of heroes and villains to work with? Well, Blizzard managed to create a whole network of them from the ground up for their iconic first-person shooter, Overwatch. This game sees the player work in a team with various combinations of heroes in the hope of winning matchups. The game comes with a variety of game modes to test your worth, such as Capture the Flag and Deathmatch. One One of the more thrilling models is Payload, which has you dominate an area of the map to move a vehicle from A to B. Another feature that stands out is Overtime, where if an objective is contested, the match is extended until a victor can be found. Attempting to be the last person standing on a point while fighting to the death can be exhilarating to say the least. The action is fast, furious, and extremely frantic at times. If you want superhero powers in an FPS setting, you can't get better than this. Number 1, the Arkham Trilogy. We are cheating a little here by placing 3 games in the top spot, but we feel it would be unfair to just pick one. Each game within the Arkham series offers an incredible story that borrows from the existing comics and media while still telling new, innovative tales. The combat is incredible, allowing you to choreograph every move in Batman's arsenal as you see fit. Plus, the graphical aspects still hold up today, even with the initial title being made way back in 2009. Each game has a new format and feel, meaning that there is bound to be something that appeals to you, whether that's the close encounters in the Asylum or the vast open world of Gotham City in the 3rd installment. These games are bursting with fun and unique content with a polish that is hard to match. In light of this, for any Batman fan, the trilogy is going to be hard to top. So if you want to live your superhero fantasy, this trilogy is an absolute must-have. So that's our rundown and all of the best superhero games to play in 2021. What did you think of our list? Do you agree with all the entries here? Or are there some games that you wish we mentioned? Let us know in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.